Hi, Agnes, sound check. Okay, sound check by Mary Modishani. How's everybody? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, now, thank you. Okay. Perfect, 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 perfect. Let's get started. We are right on time today. Annie Banda, how are you? How are you? How are you? Precious Zinga, as you join, share where you are watching us from. Welcome to Ubuntu Forum Zambia. We are rebranding. That's why we are changing our page name so that we are Africa to the world, Ubuntu to the world. We are rebranding. So that's why we are changing our names. We are changing our approach to our discussions because there is a pending law against independent broadcasters. So we want to be safe. We are not liable for any of the content here. So we are rebranding our page, and our content is going to be based on a global point of view. We are going to discuss and deliberate from a global perspective. Previously, we were named Ubuntu Forum Zambia, so we limited our scope to discussing matters that are affecting Zambia only. So now, because we have a law that is coming into Zambia to prevent people from talking about Zambia, so that's why we are rebranding all our platforms to broaden our horizon and our scope so that we cover international news, international governance, and international political affairs. Mutukuzi, I see you. Welcome, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Just share, invite everybody. Feel free to join in. It's going to be, and we have interesting topics that are happening. So right now, the requirement to obtain a license is not yet in force. So we'll be talking freely about Zambian politics until the license law is in effect. So people, don't be intimidated, don't be scared. We are still free to talk about Zambia political matters because the license is not yet in force. Yes. Vivian, Oka, I see you. Eddie, I see you. Comment where you are watching us from. We are a global platform now, and we are pushing to invite audience from all over Africa. We want to be interviewing people from all over Africa and the world. So we talk about political, social, economic matters that affect all of us as human beings. So welcome. To get started, I have 3 topics today. The 3 main topics are a threat to our democracy, and then the threat to our freedom. Our MPs are being threatened in parliament. And also the main topic that we want to discuss is the debt restructuring, inheritance, and securing your financial future. As you know, I'm a teacher, so I prepared some notes. I would like to educate you because debt is debt. The way you handle debt as a person or as a country or as a business, the principles are the same. So the last topic we are going to talk about is the debt issue, whether it's restructuring or debt cancellation. I have some information that I want to share about the debt. So the debt problem will be the last issue that I talk about. So the first topic, welcome guys, just share, tag people. I'll get right to the point because I know people, they are, bundles, it's a problem. So I will share the broadcast after I finish my live. So right now, I'll just get to it so that we don't waste too much time. So as I said, welcome. Scholastica, good to see you. Kabwe, good to see you. We talked, I talked briefly that the page is rebranding. I see there are 50 people watching. So if each one of you share, we are going to have 100 people watching. So the reason I ask you to share is because this page is being censored. So the reach, the notifications are not being sent out. So some people, they can't find this page. And the only way people can see this page when I'm live is if you share in your group, either Facebook group or WhatsApp group. Yes, tag somebody. Now, the reason why we ask you to share when we are live is because some of this information is sensitive, is real-time information, and when we share this information, it's hot off the press, you know? The information that we are sharing is what is the current affairs. So we need to share information with each other so that we all know what is happening. Yes, so that's why it is important when I'm live, you share so that people know what is happening, the breaking news, trending, or current affairs. For us, old school, we used to call it current affairs. But you young people, you are calling it breaking news or trending or viral news, yes. So it's the same thing. So that's why we say share with somebody so that we educate each other. If someone see this video, if I am wrong, they can make a comment and then they can correct me. And if there is any information that you don't know, I will inform you. Or if we all know the information, we discuss and find what the best thing that needs to be done. Problem shared is problem solved. So welcome, share. So the first thing I want to say is that we are rebranding as a page, and for obvious reasons, we want to expand our horizons because the government of Zambia wants to require independent broadcasters to obtain a license. So it doesn't matter if it's my platform, if you come here and make a comment, the government will come after you. So all of us need to be concerned about this, and we need to talk to our MPs so that the MPs knock this law out. Yes, this IBA Act licensing must fall. So talk to your MPs, and this licensing requirement must be knocked out. We don't need it. It is taking away freedom of speech and opinion, which is enshrined in Article 19 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. It's going against the global freedoms of speech, which are enshrined by the United Nations in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So in the same vein, this government, they also want to impose rules on members of parliament. As we saw yesterday, the news came from parliament that the speaker produced a number of consent orders which she drafted by herself without consulting the MPs to say this will be the way, these are the new rules of parliament. And these new rules which the speaker want to impose is that in parliament, I think they want to curtail the reproduction or circulation or any information that is happening in the proceedings of parliament. As you all know, the National Assembly consists of MPs who are elected from their various ministries, so they represent the people. So the speaker coming to present consent orders where she's imposing herself, that is illegal. And I thank the ministers for walking out on that meeting and refusing to be dictated. Yes, the Speaker of the Assembly is out of bounds by imposing herself. She should not bring laws which will bring dictatorship in the country. Instead, the Speaker should promote democracy and transparency. Why is the government of Zambia so much bent on reducing transparency? You know, why? Requiring licenses for independent broadcasters is kind of trying to hide, stopping people from talking, you know, requiring MPs that whatever that the speaker wanted to impose restrictions on members of parliament, that is actually restricting members of parliament and the dictatorship. They don't want the transparency. And the question is, why doesn't this government want transparency? Yes. So there is a huge threat from this government to the entire population who have a divergent view. But Zambia is a multi-party state. Whatever efforts are being made to shrink the democracy, they should be met with resistance. We should not agree to this government taking away our freedom of expression and also taking away transparency in all its dealings. A good example of the recent, dictatorship or recent, impunity is the sale of the mines and all the dealings that are being done outside of parliament. We know that Mopani was sold and it was done outside of parliament. So we as Zambians should stand up and condemn this autocracy, which is growing root in Zambia. And the main people who can save Zambia are the members of parliament. Members of parliament, it doesn't matter what political party you belong to. I think this parliament is the parliament that's going to defend our democracy and protect our constitution. So it's up to you, Zambian members of parliament, to stand against dictatorship, to stand against the speakers for oppressing you. Right now, there is word going around that Mr. Brian Mundu, the Honorable, is due for suspension for simply asking a question. Speaker Moyo is turning out to be worse than Nelly Muti. Do these speakers know that they are supposed to be referees? I don't know if these speakers of the assembly know their role in parliament. I am beginning to wonder if they really know why they are there. Yes. So our National Assembly is under threat and we need to speak against it. Yes. Members of parliament, please stand up to all the threats and all the intimidation you are getting from your speakers. You were elected by the people. The speakers were elected by the people. The speakers were handpicked and the MPs were elected by the people. So the members of parliament have more power than the speakers. The speaker, I think they have forgotten their role or they do not know their role. We have to continue reminding the speaker that the role of the speaker is to be a moderator, to be a facilitator. It's like a football game. Make sure that there is fair play in the parliament. But we are not getting fair play. We are getting intimidation and silencing of voices to a point where they want to introduce a motion where all deliberations in parliament cannot be shared outside. Zambia is a multi-party state, and we say no to dictatorship in the parliament. And I want to say here that the speaker, Madam Nelly Muti, has a case where a Nello prosecute was entered in a matter of her where she was representing pensioners to be paid their money. So I'm here to say the speaker, I hope you have seen that the speaker of South Africa was actually arrested for some corruption charges. So in other countries, it is happening. They are prosecuting these speakers. It's just a matter of time where our Zambian law need to stand the test of time and work to protect the people. Yes, we cannot have a situation where people just steal a loaf of bread, they go to jail, you know, and then the speakers are there violating members of parliament, honorable men and women who are elected by 30,000, 20,000 people elect these honorable men and women, and they come to parliament to be disrespected. That is very sad and unfortunate. Yes. So I move to my next topic, and my next topic is on inheritance. I'm talking about inheritance and leaving money for your families and the debt in Congole. So I'm here to talk about in Congole, and why I'm talking about in Congole, because we have seen that there is a huge celebration in the country where the president said there's a huge celebration in the country where there's a post which was written on the president's page that the debt has been restructured. Yes. So there's a huge celebration in the country. People are celebrating. The debt has been restructured. So that is why I'm here to give my take on this celebration about the debt restructure. But first of all, I want us to understand the meaning of a debt restructure before you celebrate, because I think a lot of people are celebrating out of ignorance. There is a lot of ignorance in these celebrations, as the people don't really know what it means when you restructure your debt. Yes. So I'm just going to give you a brief definition. What does debt restructure mean? Now, to restructure a debt simply means people owe you money. I mean, you owe people money. Why Kongola? You go and borrow money from somewhere, right? And then when you borrow that money, you have a problem, financial difficulty. So you go back to those people and say, can you give me more time to pay this debt? That is debt restructure. So now that we are clear, debt restructure is just debt modification. It's not cancellation. Debt restructure is not cancellation. It is not forgiveness. So it's not that our debt has been forgiven or cancelled. Good evening, Mama Yuri. Good to see you. Let us understand what debt restructure is. It is just asking an extension to pay. Mwamfa? So because of the problems Zambia is having, we went to our debtors, and not all of them. This debt restructure, Zambia went to a third, people who, or a third, which is like 30% of the people of the debt. Those are the people who have agreed to restructure the debt, meaning giving us more time. Mwakubakaloba mwabe batawe natukwatama problems tupeni kwenshito kulipira. So that's what it is. It is not debt forgiveness. Now, the thing is, why are people celebrating this? Why is it a celebration when you are given more debt to pay, more time to pay your debt? Why should you celebrate? Imagine it's you. If it's a personal debt, I borrowed maybe $1,000 from somebody, and then I lose my job. So I go to that person to say, can you give me time to pay the $1,000? And then he says, yes, I'll give you 2 months or 3 months, but you pay me 10% extra for each month that you are defaulting. In this case, in Zambia, they have pushed the debt forward 20 years into the future. So they have been given terms to say for each year they don't pay, they will pay so much extra. So if they borrowed this time, it is like, is it 3 billion? So by the end of 20 years, maybe that 3 billion, we are going to pay maybe 3.5 billion. We are going to pay extra. Now, this is where me, I'm not celebrating. I know some of you, I don't think any normal person should be celebrating a debt restructure, because it simply means by the time you pay off that debt in 20 years, you'll be paying more. That's number one. You will pay more. Number two, all of us in 20 years will not be alive. So it simply means that we are living in debt for our future generations. We are creating generational poverty. So is it wise to celebrate living a debt for your children? Is it wise? And number three, why I'm not happy myself is, why can't we operate a cash budget? We have very valuable minerals such as the uranium, cobalt, nickel, gold, emeralds. Why can't we use these resources, these minerals, to pay off our debt? You see what I mean? And according to the Bible, all of us in our personal lives, when we work for our children. We work to educate our children so that we leave our children with an inheritance. But the problem is, in Zambia, all our, starting from PF came, they left debt. Mwanawasa tried to clear the debt. PF left debt. And now UPND is also leaving debt. And then we have a problem with praise singers. When we talk about this debt thing, the praise singers, they are saying PF left debt. What is the problem? So that is why I'm here to say, why are we creating generational debt or poverty? As leaders, in our personal lives, we all strive to create generational wealth, isn't it? That's why we send our children to school. That's why we invest in property, so that we secure our children. Myself, my mother, she was a teacher, but she left us property. My mother did not leave us in debt. My mother, may God rest her soul, she passed away, but my mother left us a house. She empowered us. And all of you, I'm sure, your parents left you something. You are sending your kids to school. You are all doing something to empower your children. So I am here to say, as a government moving forward, why can these governments, if they really care for the future generations that are coming, why do we have generation after generation, they are creating debt for the citizens, even for the unborn children? These debts they are creating, the unborn children, when they become of age, they will be there to pay those debts because they are borrowing in the name of the country. So it is sad, guys, and I just want to comment on you people who are celebrating. There is nothing to celebrate. It's actually sad. If you are like my age and you are celebrating debt restructure, look at your grandchildren and think that your grandchildren will be in problems to pay this money. We are creating generational poverty. And let us stand together and demand that the government use our minerals to pay off this debt. And the laws should change to a point that all the minerals, or all political parties that come in government, let them review the current mining agreement so that we can maximize our income from these mines and pay off our debts. Yes. So that's the situation, guys. That is the situation. is a simple solution, but Brian, these things, it is simple. You know, the way you treat debt in your personal capacity, that's how nations should treat debt. For me, I'm just here to say, whatever government comes in force, let them start creating generational wealth. By you people celebrating a debt restructure, which is 20 years to the future, when all these people who are signing, including some of us here, will be dead and gone, it does not make sense. Does that make sense for you as a man, Hamonga, whatever your name is, you have a family, and you go and borrow money so that your grandchildren come and pay for it? Are you being responsible parent? No. So we are saying the same principle should apply to the country. Let our leaders find a way of paying off the debt in the shortest possible time. This thing of taking debt and then transferring the debt to your grandchildren should be condemned by well-meaning Zambians. Myself, I don't want my grandchildren to come and suffer and pay for my debt, which I ate. Huh? Both PF did the same. UPND, they are doing the same. Here we are non-partisan. We are just saying that this debt, our governments must look at ways of paying debt in the shortest possible time. We have minerals in Zambia. What's wrong to going to a Kajem mine and getting money from there to pay off these debts? What is wrong with, there is a mine in Impika, gold mine opened in Pika, gold mine is there in Minilunga, we have cobalt there, we have the uranium mine in southern province, there are uranium mines, there is the Suji-like mines. Why can't we tap into our mines and pay off our debt in the shortest possible time than every time getting debt and transferring the debt to our unborn grandchildren? Is this wise, Mwemantu Bakwaris? Share with somebody. Share with somebody. This page is censored because here we tell them the truth, and they don't want the truth to reach the masses. That's why this page is censored. But even if this page is censored, if you share with people, they will still be able to get the live. So that is the story, guys. There is nothing to celebrate about a debt restructure. Nothing, zero. All of you here, some of you, you are young, and some of you, you are lucky. Your parents left you inheritance. Now, can you imagine if your parent left you in Congole? Eh? You are there at your mother's funeral, and then give you a bill for what your mother borrowed. This is what these governments have been doing, starting from PF. PF did the same. UPND, they are doing the same. Now we want to break that cycle. That's why we are talking to say, moving forward in the future, the government that will come in 2026, they have to pay off Zambian debt in the shortest possible time. We have resources to pay off this debt. Why are they not using the resources that we have to pay off this debt? This is my question. Zambia is a Christian nation. Proverbs 13:22 says, a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. Proverbs 13:22. It's even an instruction in the Bible. It's an instruction in the Bible that a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. But we have government after government creating generational poverty, sending debt into the future so our unborn children, grandchildren can come and pay money which they ate. Hmm? We are not here to talk about ECL or HH. We are saying we are talking about debt restructuring and borrowing. This is the thing here. You know, they say madness is doing the same thing and expecting different results. That's what they say madness is. Madness is doing the same thing and doing this and expecting different results. So why is government after government borrowing money and then transferring debt, restructuring the debt into the future? So you find that 3 billion, because of its restructured, by the time we pay it, maybe we'll pay back 4 billion, you know? So our children are liable for this thing they are signing now, because they are signing in the name of Zambia. We are not here to attack PF or UPND. We are just here to say this is wrong and must be stopped. Hmm? We must secure our financial future. As a country, Zambia is going on almost to 60 years. When you're going to 60 years, you retire, you have saved. But at 60 years, we are still not yet secure financially. We are creating debt so that our great-grandchildren can come and pay debt. Are we wise? Are we wise to create debt so that our grandchildren can come and pay that debt? And some of you are celebrating. It is a good thing they have agreed to restructure the debt, yes. It is a good thing they have agreed to restructure the debt, but I don't see why it is worthy of a celebration. Actually, it should be a time of thinking. People need to sit and think down to say, wow, I am going to leave my great-grandchildren this debt. Now, if you are thinking like that, would you be celebrating? Would you be celebrating leaving a debt for your great-grandchildren? No, because it's shameful. It is shameful how our future generations look at us. We are going to be dead and gone. In 20 years, some of us won't be there, including the people who are signing. Mr. Musoko Twane, how old is he? How old is Mr. Musoko Twane, the current Minister of Finance? We are all going to be dead and gone in 20 years. So now we want to pass on this problem to our great-grandchildren. When we have an opportunity to make decisions that will allow us to pay off this debt in the shortest possible time and secure the financial future of our children. This is what we are saying. What we are saying is we can't continue doing the same thing. Every government that comes, you go and borrow money and then you restructure that debt and send it to the future. You are creating generational poverty. This is what I'm here to say. It is time for you to think and speak against creating generational poverty. Let us find a way to pay off this debt in the shortest possible time so that we secure our future, so that we use those resources. Instead of paying the interest kukaloba, we use that money to rebuild our hospitals, rebuild our roads, you know, build affordable housing, provide clean water, you know. So that's the situation, guys. It's just sad. and shameful that, you know, going to 60 years of independence, people are celebrating debt restructure. How can you celebrate living debt to kushilaba nkongole wambo mwambo kulashana? You know, I'm just like, okay, you need financial education. People need to be educated. That's it. Is all I can say. Yeah. I'll be going, guys. I'm done. I just came here to talk about this whole debt restructure. I've posted a lot of content about debt restructure on my page. You can read about it, you know. This is one of the things I do. I'm a financial services advisor. I advise people to plan for their retirement, what they need to do, you know. And we can't, the thing which is painful is like government after government, when they come in, they restructure the debt. So when our children never go, which means Zambian generation will never build wealth. We are our own worst enemies. We are our own worst enemies because we are celebrating wrong things, you know? We are celebrating leaving our children in debt. It's a shame. It is a shame. Hi, Rebecca. Good to see you. And you know, when I was doing my research, under debt restructuring, under management of debt restructuring is not even as an option. It's not a good option of managing your debt. It's not. Debt restructuring, actually, they discourage it because by the time you're paying that debt, you pay more in interest for taking that debt in the future. Yes, when I was doing my research, this is what I do. I educate people, I help people plan for their retirement and whatnot. So debt management and all these things is part of my career. That's what I do on a personal level. So on a personal level, you apply those same principles to a country. The top 10 strategies to manage your debt does not include debt restructuring. So why is this government going to do something which is not even recommended? The top 10 strategies to manage your debt. 1, create a budget. Prioritize high interest debts and pay them off. Make timely payments. Pay more than the minimum. Consolidate and refinance. Negotiate with creditors. Avoid taking on new debt. Build reserves and seek financial counseling. Now, is any of that being done? No. Debt restructure is not on the top 10 ways of managing the debt. It's not the best thing, especially that Zambia, we have resources to pay off this debt. This is where the problem is. Zambia, we have minerals which can be used to pay off the debt, but we are not tapping into that. Why? Why? So that is it, guys. That is it. This debt thing is a problem in Zambia. It's a big like me on my mother's side. I come from the Tonga tribe on my mother's side, and you know we have a lot of animals as a Tonga. My uncle was a very rich man. He had a lot of animals. My family, my mother's family, they are Tongas, and we used to go to the village. And my uncle had a lot of animals. And when we needed money, or if he needed money, he would sell the animals, and then he gets money to do what he wants. Now, would it be wise for my uncle who has a lot of animals, if he need money, he go and borrow money from somewhere and pay high interest, Kaloba, Lunda Lunda, when he has animals? It is as simple as that, to break it down to you. As a person, my uncle, he's a Tonga. My mother, I'm a Tonga from Mazabuka. So when we used to go to the village there to visit my uncle, if we needed school fees or whatever money we needed, my uncle would take one of the animals and sell it. And then he'll give us money to do whatever. My uncle, he was a polygamist, a lot of wives, but if he need money, he take one of the cows or two and sell them and get money. Now, would it be wise for my uncle, when he has a lot of animals, to go and borrow Karobalunda Lunda and pay high interest for it, when he has animals he can sell? This is the same thing that is happening to Zambia. Zambia, we have a rich country with all these minerals. So why are we going to borrow money to solve our problems instead of selling what we have to solve our problems? So basisindambati mama ningayamebo baji haba mama bazokumaza buya kumapangaya and lindali mwana twali kunka kumunzi uswa bajiha and bajiho ntwali kunka kumuzi natuyanda mali ya ma school fees onaba yanda kula tractor bali bakomesha fama bali kulima maningi. So bajiha mbo bali kujita naba yanda kutugwa ya mali ama school fees onaba yanda kula tractor onaba yanda kula fertilizer bajiha bali kuweha ng'ombe bauliha ng'ombe bauliha pe munya baula tractor nangu fertilizer na kutugwa ya mali akuchikolo batugwaha bali kuweha ng'ombe habo bauliha. So chamano cha wambati bali jisi ng'ombe niza 500 bajiha ng'ombe ibai bali jisi ng'ombe olo 500 plus nachiramano bajiha bayakuti nabayanda mali agula fertilizer olo wakutugwaha subo ma school fees pemnya banko bawongola mali bali jisi ng'ombe no. Chipimano kuti muntu wali ula ng'ombe baliha mbu bajisi ng'ombe tonka twawo balomba ma school fees batutumatika muyamu wongole mali pesi bali jisi ng'ombe tahi ntumbo hibereka bajiha ni twali kunka wakulomba mali ya kuchikolo bali winide bali jisi ng'ombe hinji bali kunka mulumulu bayo baweha ng'ombe nayo biliyo tatu ng'ombe bauliha ng'ombe pemnya batupa mali ngaya mali kamuya kuchikolo bali kulima attractor bali jisi. So bajiha nabayanda kula tractor oro ni spare part nabayanda kula ma fertilizer babula ng'ombe yo biliyo tatu bauliha inajirama inamano bajiha wagunka wakukotola mali kubakaloba kuli bakalunda. So chendamba Zambia yalo Zambia ili jisi ng'ombe ili jisi ma minerals inojiramano wambati so batulera mujisisi hulumende after hulumende bola hulumende kuwehana nigani kumka kukuhyalo yabasungu wa ugolota mali pesi tulijisi ma minerals mu Zambia akunganga ngababwe yabauli yabamnya balipira nkongole pe munya bachita yose yebeleda kujita mujisi chetu kagawa kutegwa ai behavior government yerede kumana kambo Zambia tatupengede tuliwinide tulamali andi mali eswali mumabwe ma emerald ma sujilite ma gold ma copper maniko ino hulumende bola chi chebatasambalira mabwe alya kutegwalya amabwe gayatugwaya mugulera jisi bati hulumende bola kunkakongola mali balasiya kuliha mabwe ngotujisi pemunya babola kukuya license kupa maguwa kutega gabawola mamaini yesu so tomana twonka twawongola mali komunyo kudi bala mbemunya bala bantu mbutwa uliha mamaini twawongola mali aguligwa ya mujisi so chetwambatina kulela jisi go butogo hintu yeba jita hena iramano hena iramano basa alimu ndabola uri ndi nyuma praising no balumba iha munalumba iha mojitaka botu wago wago kongola kaloba tuyagulipira mu ma 20 years uyo mu 20 years tabuya kubago mu ma 20 years tunaguhide boss abasitumbeko bali abagomena kale 20 years from now tabagabigo andisweto sata tugabigo tuyaguwa inainga chi tukomanya kutegwa tusiye bana besu munkongole pesi tulijisima minerals nga kutobwe abo ma minerals esu toliya tomona toligwa ha mujisi totola jisi gumbere so abatwelede wamba masimpe tabucha utikatika tulirije nga katulumbaya yaguyanga yonse kulumbayiha tagukotuya tuyagusiya abana besu muma problem behigulu bagubora abo bana bagubaliko muma after ma 20 years baguya bayagubanyanga jisi kambo baguwambe munya mbebawola mamaini komnya kumaguwowe kobanka baguwongola mali so 20 years from now baguwa bayagunyanga bana besu bahigulu bayagubanyanga jisi kutegwa my agreement say sign mali ngoba kongola 20 years you know hulumende igabora imbi ayalo igakugwerete alimu abanyo don mbubabora bali gweretede ino mali ngoba gwerete tanaya yaguri kambwa higoloti ya their tabajiti service pubabora abanyo doni tawudenje bali pide nkongole bose bakongole tagungu bali pira ngama nayo so mebochenda mbano kwamba tibasaka tujatana uti na hulumende lubiha katujatana tubagage totogaga kwati akubambira tawo malubiha ino problem kambo naba lubiha nyo muri lumba ihide hena muri kweni basa muri kweni ga muyeya bonandi nyogo bamaji yagumizi bamaka intu muri jisingombe murubayo pemunya oyanda mali wakugorota mali naja walira kubula ngubwe ya ngombe yobiro tate waulia utegwa usolving ma problem ago chi bati unkawa kugweta mali uri jisingombe inaje kugaha guri ha ngombe hiria utegwa usolve ma problem yago chi chetwamba Zambia has wealth. What is refusing Zambia of selling our precious minerals to pay off our debt in the shortest possible time? What? So I end here. Our unborn great-grandchildren will end up having no country. Baka se ndaba sunguka lema maini wale bapera. Okoko no awe na o wale shama maini. Eko bakwata nkongole. Abantu bamubene bali bapera mamaini ero ne nkongole bakwata mwamona you see how we are so squeezed, how much we have been squeezed voluntary fefwebene twaitwala fwebene twalitanika fwebene because ngatwalanda no what can these people say te chalo chabo kuma West Africa ko bali buka bali landa no ngabalanda no kuti batuchiteshi because abantu bamubene baleshita mamaini elo ngabashita maini babapera tax holiday elo nombanga from there babapera tax holiday muchalota muri mpia babu tukabamkongole mpia isho shine mpia sho bale kongola muchalota ture shimona na mumone chalo sho chiri mpia tamuri shari kama shonse bamkongole mpia ko kuine elo from there ngabakongole mpia yabashitwala kuntanshi atukalipira after 20 years. Meanwhile, to operate today, bale kongwela for more money. but nesho wale kongole mpya tapalifire chitika mukyalo. So mwe bantu bakwaresa, where is Zambia going? Tekushitisha ekyalo. Ukuringa tekushitisha ekyalo nisha, I don't know what it is. If this is not ukushitisha ekyalo, kubiko ekyalo mu busha nishika tuishomo momo winga firondorwera. Amasuuzo tatuwateekanye because Zambia eri akuli 60 years of independence. Ishite yakuteekanya yalipwa kale. Panopa tuli umuntu pali 60 years kuchita retire. Nomba pali 60 years mule bule nkongole mwashira abeshukuru beno abashafyalwa. I'm sure you must choose if you're a young man, your father left you inheritance. If you're an old man, you have prepared inheritance for your children. So what do you mean in that tekanya? Masuzio, answer me. If you're a young man, your father or mother left you inheritance. If you're an old man, you have prepared inheritance for your children and your great-grandchildren. And you are not 60 years old. People start preparing inheritance as soon as they get married and have a children and have a family. When you are 20, 25 years old, you start preparing for your generational wealth. You start creating it. So imama masujo to take a nyenshi, because Zambia is going to 60 years and we have done nothing to create generational wealth, but we are creating generational poverty and debt. And this is why we continue talking until the right thing is done. If this government does not do anything, this program is educational. So the people who are watching, they can open their eyes and know what to do. If they form government, these are some of the principles we expect him to implement for the future leaders. Yes. So that's what it is. If you're Chidi, you know, we are speaking here to the future leaders so that they don't come and do these same things they are doing. 2026 and me, I'm speaking to those people who are cheering. You are cheering debt restructure. When you do a research about debt restructure, you know it's not the best option for Zambia. Because Zambia, we have all that, we have the minerals that we need to pay off our debt in the shortest possible time. But abaiche mulandu wabutudyemu katushinga mungulu mulelumba mulelumbenshi mulelumbenshi. Ask yourself, this should be condemned so that even those people, they think twice. If you continue sharing them, every time they'll be coming with more bullshit. Every day na bullshit. How can I say media company pani twali umfuata bene ba company, the holding company here Dubai is a BlackRock company. Oh, this is public information. And the BlackRock is one of the biggest shareholders of the Euro bonds. You saw last year there was a march, there was a protest here in the USA where Americans were protesting not to choke Zambia with their debt. Oh, this is public information. Problem is Zambians, you don't research. Do not believe your politician. Everything a politician says, research. Everything now, all the information is on your fingertips. Google. Yes. Google, all the information is on your fingertips. Go and research it. IMF will have the current data. You have seen the IMF itself mocking Zambia, telling Ghana not to be like Zambia. Eh? Think about your future. Think about your future. If you are 25 years old, in fact, anyone who is 16 years, who could take a NRC, must start thinking about the future, because that NRC is a tool which you can use to change your life and put people in an office who will improve your life or sell out your country. But Oscar, let's go to the other page. It's saying adding you. So we are going to end this live and go to the other page. I think this page will be broke, huh? So let us go to the other page. And then I think you'll be able to join easily. Yeah. Yeah, so guys, join on. We are switching over to the other page. Don't go away. I'm going to post on both pages, but I'll end this live, and then I want my Oscar to say something. So we'll be here shortly. Give me a few minutes. See you, and thanks for watching. I'll join in a few minutes.